If you want to know how Mr. Beast gets millions of views and other content creators in your niche had the edge, it's almost always because they pay attention to this one thing, their analytics. So today we're going to be talking about what analytics are important to look at, where to find it, how to read them, and how to adjust your content strategy to get more views on your videos. But if you're just getting started, my first tip is go to the studio area and look at the latest video performance box. It's going to show you how your video ranks compared to your last 10 uploads and the most important analytics that YouTube wants you to see. And to help me do this today, we've got an expert, somebody that knows YouTube more than just about anybody I know. His name is Liron Segev, internationally celebrated digital strategist and YouTube expert. He doesn't stop there. He has his own successful tech channel, which he's grown almost 300% in his views in just the last 12 months. If there's someone that understands analytics and knows how to help you get more views to grow your channel, Liron's your guy. All that and more coming up on the VI show right now. What's up, influencers? Welcome to Video Influencers. My name is Benji Travis, and we're helping build your influence, income, impact with online videos. Sean and I started this channel to help you crush it on YouTube, and we're the co-authors of YouTube Secrets. So make sure you get your copy. If you're looking to grow your YouTube channels, you can get on Amazon, Audible. We love your reviews, so leave those, and we love the honest feedback. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it. Liron, thank you so much and welcome to the show.
Oh, Benji, always awesome chatting with you. It's a nice, warm day in Texas for a change. So as long as we got internet, I am super stoked to do this. We're going to share so much good stuff today. Cannot wait to get into it.
Absolutely. And as you guys already saw, Liron is already successful, not just as a YouTube expert, but as a YouTube creator himself. And one thing I didn't mention is you literally have grown 300,000 subscribers in about just the last year, literally millions of views every single month. And I know you didn't do it by just guessing. You were paying attention to some data, looking at certain numbers. So let's just get right into it. What's the first thing people should just know generally about analytics when it comes to growing their YouTube channel?
Okay, so I think the most important thing is before we even just dive into the meaty stuff, you have to learn to love thy analytics. That should be a law somewhere. You have to understand that data is unemotional. Data doesn't care whether you missed your kid's graduation's birthday party, you were stuck in the snow, how many hours you worked on a video. Data doesn't care. All data shows you is 1 and a 0. Did something work or did it not work? Once you start accepting that and understanding that, then a lot of this just starts to make so much sense. And that was my unlock moment. Once I realized that YouTube doesn't hate us, small channels, small creators have got as much opportunity as anybody else on the platform, including Mr. Beast himself. We can do this. We just got to know what to look for, what to look at, and then make those data-driven decisions. So if that's the mindset, well, I think we can start climbing straight in. What do you think, Benji?
That sounds good to me. And, you know, one of the things I want to share before we get into your first point, guys, is the fact that, remember, to get analytics, to get data, to understand, you know, how the algorithm works and how they're going to suggest your videos to what people, you've got to upload videos. So none of this matters until you're uploading content. So that's the first thing you should be doing. But let's go into the first point that you want to share with people, which is the overview. Let's talk about that and why that is so important. Exactly what you mean by overview.
Okay, so exactly what you said, you have to upload content because without content, nothing really to analyze, right? And then YouTube can't help you because believe it or not, YouTube does want to help you. That is why it's invested so much time and money into the new YouTube studio. We can hardly remember what classic looks like anymore. This has just got so much value information. So with that in mind, let's do this. Let's fire up our YouTube analytics.
Yep.
So in other words, you go into your YouTube studio and then you click on the analytics button on the left-hand side, and then you'll see the overview. And on the overview, you'll be able to basically look at your last top 10 videos. Now, it's not the last 10 videos you uploaded, but it's the videos in general, the 10 videos that are performing the best. Why do we care? Well, what we're looking at is we're trying to understand on our channel those top 10 videos. What are they? That's the first place we have to look. What kind of content is really, really working on our own channels? Is it how-to videos? Is it, what was the thumbnail like? What was the number of views like? We want to just get that golden information. And that's already a first. This is where you take out your notepad and you start making some notes. This is where you start looking at your own information, your own
Yeah.
library, and you say, okay, hold on. I'm detecting a trend here. Every time I speak about X, it's in my top 10 videos. That tells you something. It tells you that your audience is loving that. Make a note of that. As you're scrolling down your top 10 list, you're
Yeah.
also looking at, essentially, you're looking at your titles. Is there anything that's uniform within your titles? Is there anything that maybe you've labeled it a certain way? Maybe it's got emojis. Maybe it's got a lot of exclamation marks. Maybe it's got what is that binding element? Study the top 10 videos. Those are going to give you golden bits of information.
And by the way, I've got
Okay.
it. I've got it pulled up, right? And so you go to your
Perfect.
analytics, everybody, and this is in YouTube Studio. To the left, there's an analytics, and you're going to go to the first tab, which is overview. Now, I know, Liron, that it automatically pulls up 28 days, but tell us why you actually want to go back 90 days.
Okay, Benji, you're letting out all the secrets today. Okay, so the reason you want to pull out 90 days, okay, brace yourself, this is going to be good. So your 28 days is a snapshot of what are your top videos for the last 28 days. But when you change to 90 days, here is what you're looking for. It's going to show you still the top 10 videos that performed well on your channel over the last 90 days. Why that's important? Because here's what you're looking for. You're looking for an old video that is still getting you views today. So you'll see there are videos in this channel. If you look at on what's been shared on the screen at the moment,
Yeah.
there are videos from there from 2020.
Yeah.
There are videos there that are older videos. What are you looking for? If those videos are currently getting you views today and it's an old video, guess what your community is screaming out for? An update of that video.
Yes.
So perhaps you did something that was like 5 reasons why you should buy the new blank, right? Well, maybe in 2020, when your video was launched, you looked in those comments and people were saying, yes, but you missed 1, 2, 3, 4 more reasons. Great. Make a 2021 video of that. Say 5 more reasons why you should buy this. Or, boy, did I get this wrong. A year later, I feel differently. Make that video. Those top 10 videos over the last 90 days are such a wealth of information. It's telling you what is currently working on your channel, and therefore make an updated version. Don't just relabel the title 2021. That's not going to do anyone any good, but create another version of that.
So Nucci, let's go ahead and show my screen here and kind of dive into it. So, a couple things that you mentioned, Liron, is look at different themes. So obviously babies, really popular. We're a family vlogging channel, right? Obviously there's like the end of vlogging, kind of dramatic. It was actually for us. We're talking about like this is like a new era for us. Couple things like some hot topics for our viewers. Another thing I see down below here is my 31st birthday, Thanksgiving, so holidays,
holidays,
tentpole events in somebody's life. And then another one, you can't really see it, but Leah gets her shot. So obviously, right now, especially with COVID-19 and vaccines, it's a hot topic. And so this is why it's so important to look back at your videos. And one thing I want to mention here is the fact that when you're looking at your analytics, YouTube is telling you through this overview through your top 10 videos what it is that people really care about within your audience that are subscribed to you, but also just generally what is
Okay.
it that resonates with people when it comes to your videos. And so that's the first place we want to start. Liron, anything else you want to mention in terms of the top 10 last 90 days highest performing videos before we go into point number 2?
Well, fire up your top 10 for the last 90 days. Let's have a quick look
Yeah.
together as we're going this, just to kind of show the kind of stuff that I would look for in that.
Yep.
So let's look at your thumbnails. Let's start there. So you can see a consistent theme here. Very, very little text, right? You can see that it's faces. You can see the faces are towards the middle of the screen. You can see there's emotion in those faces. You can see that when there is text, it just teases out the content without giving away the entire content. If you look at all of them, very pointy, very direct. People can connect with you instantly because they see this. They go, "Oh wow, I've got to watch this video." When you look at your titles, 4 days late, it's Judy's life. She doesn't remember Thanksgiving, all capitals. It's all about the journey that people are going through with you on your channel. And remember, at the end of the day, your viewer is the most important. Forget all these analytics, forget camera angles, and forget everything else you know. If you put your viewer in mind first, put a viewer's hat on and say, what would they be thinking? What would they be asking? What would be question that would come up? That is when you unlock a lot of goodness on your channel, because people right now would want to know what's happening with the baby. It's been a couple of months. Like, what's the update? Like, vaccines, as Benji said earlier, vaccines are a big topic. They're a trending topic because people are searching for that information on YouTube and on Google and on other social medias. Something like a discussion about vaccines and babies, that could be an interesting topic that would come up with, like, how do you feel, a heart to heart with your audience. Have that as a discussion point. My point with all this is we haven't even started, and there's already 20 different angles that you can get just by looking at your own analytics. 28 days, and then look at the old videos that are still getting views now when you go to the 90 days. So I think that's I think we can end here. I mean, that's pretty much 100
Well, by the way,
Should we-
I
should we
love
just-
this because literally, if we did just stop there, that would 10x your performance moving forward. Everybody that's watching, because most people don't understand the significance of looking at your top 10 performing videos, not just in the last 90, but even in just the last 28 days. And this goes back to the first tip that we gave, which is you need to upload videos. So when people ask me to audit their channels and they've got like 5 uploads in the last 5 months, that's not enough. You need more hooks in the sea. This is why I'm not an expert in it, but this is why I believe YouTube Shorts is exciting. It lets you put out data to YouTube and lets the algorithm figure out who is it that you're going to connect with, right? Short little bits of content that doesn't take very long to create. Now, will they perform the same way a normal video will? No. But let's go ahead and get into the next point, Liron. What is the next thing people need to look for, and where do we find it?
Okay, so when it comes to your YouTube, you've done your research, you've done your content, you've edited everything beautifully, you've uploaded. There are 2 things which work together and are super, super critical. It's your thumbnail and your title. If your thumbnail and your title do not work together, you're going to have issues. And here's what I mean by that. What is the one mission of a thumbnail? It's only got one mission. And the one mission of the thumbnail is to get someone to stop what they're doing as they're scrolling through their YouTube feeds and to go, "Ooh, what's that?" That is the only mission of a thumbnail, to get someone to stop. Then they look at your thumbnail, they look across at your title, and together they sell the click. Together they make a decision. They go, "Yes, I want to watch this," click, or "I don't want to watch this," and they move on. So mistakes that people make right here is repeating the entire title and inside the thumbnail. We don't want to do that. The second mistake people make is giving away the entire plot of this video. I don't know. Let me find something. All right. So I've got this device here. These are the Google AirPods thingamajiggy. I don't know what they're called. But I've got this in here. And if I had said, you must absolutely buy this, and that's my thumbnail, what reason do you have to watch my video?
Yeah.
None. I've given away the ending, right? But if I held this up and I'm going, should you buy this? With that overacting YouTuber face, then if you're in the market for that and you've been searching for that, or that popped up on your browse, you might think, oh, hold on, what does he know that I don't know? Click. So thumbnail and your title together are a powerful, powerful combination. And then another little tip here, make no mistake, YouTube knows and reads the information inside your thumbnail. So when you got things like logos, when you got text, when you got a certain type of emotion, YouTube picks all that up. And there's a website called Google Cloud Vision, and you can drop your thumbnail in there, and it will literally tell you what YouTube can see. So
Yeah, and by the
make
way,
sure.
I've got your channel pulled up, so exactly what you're talking about, and this is exactly how you get tens of thousands of views. The emotion in the face. You're like, don't do this, but what does that mean, right? You're like creating some interest and some mystery.
You want to draw people in. And if I'd said, don't charge your phone overnight, cool, thanks. Then it's pretty much done, right? Like there's nothing more to discuss. So it's all about that. Now, where this ties back into analytics is the following. So Benji, let's fire up the CTR.
We got it
so
up.
Go to analytics.
Yep.
And you go to reach. Now remember, by the way, that we're doing this on the channel as a whole, not individual videos. This is the entire channel. So under reach, here is what you're looking for. The important kind of, there's lots of metrics here. It's impressions, the CTR, the click-through rates. We've got the number of views, a number of unique viewers. But watch what you got to do. Scroll down a little bit, and you should see this funnel. Now, people kind of see this funnel and ignore it for some reason. What you should do, you see that little top of the funnel. So YouTube says, okay, I'm going to show this video to 158 million people, and I want to see what's going to happen. So if you put the little eye, so you see the little eye at the top there, Benji, if you hover over that, YouTube actually has recommended this content. And it recommended 31% on the watch page and 24% on the home page. And then it was 44% of viewers seeking your content. So YouTube is literally telling you how your people are finding your videos. It's giving you that information. Now, if you get out of that little eye and you scroll a little bit further down, what do you see? You see 7.8% click-through rate. That means out of the total number of people that have seen your thumbnail, how many people actually bother to click? Now, why is that important? Because if that number is seriously low, like 1%, 0%, which I have seen a couple of times, that means that your thumbnails on your channel are simply not grabbing people's attention. And therefore, even though they're seeing your thumbnails, YouTube is doing a good job. It's matching up the viewer with your content, but your thumbnails aren't powerful enough to bring the viewer to actually click. That's a problem. So pay close attention to that number. This is a 7.8% click-through rate on this particular case. And people will say, well, that seems low. That's ridiculous. Well, which one would you rather have? 100% click-through rates on 100 views, 100 impressions, or 7.8% on 158 million? Okay.
Yeah, it's a
So
great point too. One thing I want to mention is the numbers are going to be relevant for where you're at. Okay. This
completely.
is why we talk about not comparing yourself. And this is why we're teaching you how to read your own analytics. If you're literally just starting from scratch, you can't compare your click through rate to somebody who's been doing it for 10 years that has a whole team of people doing graphics and focusing on thumbnails. Focus on your own numbers. This is one little side bonus tip. What you really want to do is take these numbers that Liron is sharing with you, take this data that we're telling you to dig into, and try to improve on them video to video. So not just uploading the videos in general to get the data, but every time you upload, you want to get better. And so this is why that first window that shows you the snapshot of how your video is doing is really important. My wife and I, when we look at our vlogs, we're literally looking at it's like, oh, I'm curious at like how many more people clicked on
Mm.
this thumbnail versus the last upload. And that's what you should be focused on, not what you can do in the next year, what you're going to do next week on the next thumbnail. Liron, anything else you want to mention outside of traffic and then click through rate?
Yeah. So the the big thing here is that we're trying to find the balance, like what's a good click-through rates. And if you've been uploading for a while, exactly what Benji says, the kiss of death is comparing yourselves to another channel. And typically we always have the question, what's a good click-through rate? Well, it depends. And I love that answer because nobody likes it depends, but it really does. Like I worked with a channel that they used to panic when the click-through rate fell below 64%. And they used to panic. I don't know about you, but I'm not seeing anywhere near those numbers. So for them, it was panic stations, graphic designers are called in, and they're redoing everything. That's different. What you should be doing is looking at your top 10, last 10 videos. Look at the average CTR, the average click-through rates that you are getting on your channel. And then you try to get better than that. That's all you have to do. Just get a little bit better each and every time with your own channel. If people paid more attention to their own stuff versus why is this getting so many more views and this person's blowing up, even though my content's better, forget all that. Dedicate all that attention and energy into your own channel. You will succeed. Just get better with your own channel with every upload, every little click through that you're going to get. Upload, upload, upload. So, with that in mind, let's get back to that screen where we can see that funnel, if you
Yep,
don't mind.
let's do it.
And then we'll scroll further down. The other thing that people need to pay attention to is the traffic source. How are people finding your videos? Now, here is the problem. In fact, Ben, if you scroll a little bit up, because it's on the left-hand side of the funnel, you'll see the overview. There we go. Right. As a small channel, and let's talk different size channels because this does make a big difference. As a smaller channel, when you're starting out, the fastest way to get eyeballs on your channel is to appeal to search, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are going to go to YouTube, go to the search bar, start typing in your keywords and see what kind of things are auto-completed in there. And that's going to help guide you as to what people are searching for. So that is a good way to get traffic onto your videos. Now, a lot of channels are only playing for search. They're only looking to answer people's questions. They only want to be married when somebody's actively looking for that. And that's an okay strategy. There's nothing wrong with that. But I will tell you that it is going to be limiting. What you want to be in the ideal position is to be in browse. And browse, what does that mean? It means that YouTube has says, okay, I am taking your content. I know the kind of audience that loves your content. I also know the kind of audience that wants your content based on watch history, based on their clicks, based on a gazillion signals that YouTube has. And when they log into their YouTube for the first time, they go to the YouTube homepage and boom, your beautiful thumbnail is there with your gorgeous title, and people are just automatically, they want to click on it. And browse is where you get that big momentum in your views. So don't just look at search. Look at search, with a view to go towards browse. So let's look at that screen again. If you can pull that up quickly. So if you can see here, we have the browse feature. Most of the traffic is coming from that. And look at that. The next one underneath it is suggested videos, which basically is telling me that people are watching a video. And then YouTube says, hey, you like this video? Let me suggest another video from this channel. And people will then watch that video. This is critical. Here is why. How many people end their video with the typical, thanks guys for hanging out here. It's been fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as soon as you see that, you kind of know, all right, this video is done. Okay? People are done. That's a signal to people saying that you're done. And if you're done, well, they're done. They're going to go back and watch something else. Don't do that at all. Every single time you're ready to upload a video, you should have the following in mind. What's going to be my title? What's going to be my thumbnail? And the third one, which nobody does, is where do I send people to next? Once you know that, when you get towards the end of your video, don't do the whole shoulder shrug thing, thanks for hanging out. The journey is done for you. But as a viewer, the journey is not done. Send them to something else. So I do this. I get to the end and I go, oh, and if you want more Wi-Fi tips and tricks, check out this video right here. You're really going to dig it. And I'll see you in that video. And guess what happens? People have just watched a Wi-Fi video and now they want another Wi-Fi video. And you get the most points, I'm going to use in air quotes, points from YouTube when you keep people on your channel. YouTube is going to look at your own catalog first and serve it to their audience before it looks elsewhere. So if I can send them to another one of my video, I'm doing YouTube a favor and helping YouTube out. YouTube likes that. And that's a good signal. So big power move here is do not end your video with, don't forget to like and subscribe. And because you've kind of lost the viewer now, send them somewhere else. Before you record, thumbnail, have that in mind. Title, have that in mind. What's the next video you're going to send them to? Don't do it after the fact because then you've lost that opportunity. Does that make sense, Benji?
Oh, absolutely. And what I love about this is people probably are staring at their analytics, having no idea what to look at, what they're actually looking at. But that's the two things that we're talking about in this section. Number one, click-through rate, CTR, this thing you hear people saying all the time. And that's going to show you the performance and the clickability of your thumbnail. So the higher that number is, the better you're doing it. Again, that's why you want to see that number go up a little bit higher. Secondly, is where your traffic is coming from. For us, a lot of it is browse and suggested because we already have an established audience. For my food channel, it's completely opposite. It's YouTube search because I'm strategizing around getting in front of people searching for certain recipes. So different strategies. We're just trying to teach you what these mean, how to adjust your content. And then Liron just gave you some tips to get more suggested views, right? To get on people's browsers, which is make sure they watch another piece of content, which means you need to upload lots of content. This is why uploading your first 100 videos, as daunting as that seems, is so important because when you have one video pop off, you want to be ready with all those other pieces of content. Did I say that right? And are you ready to move on to the second part, which I know is more focused on audience analytics?
Yes. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so the most amazing video on YouTube that doesn't get beyond the first 30 seconds might as well not happen. Here's what I mean. YouTube works in a way that people's mindsets are, they find a video, they click, and subconsciously they're saying, this better be damn good or I'm going elsewhere. And you know that that's happening because that's the way we all watch a video. When we find something, we click and go, all right, you better deliver, dude. And if they don't deliver in the first 30 seconds, you go, I'm out of here. And you go back and you go to the next video. The hook. This is when you come swinging out of the gate and you're delivering instant value and you're reaffirming that people are there for the right reason. Do not start your video with your beautiful animated logo and your amazing sizzle reel, and you're talking about what you had for breakfast, and like nobody cares. Save that for later. The longer that people are on your video, the more forgiving they are because they're already receiving value from you. If they're forgiving, they're going to watch more. And the more that they watch, the more likelihood they're going to hit that subscribe button and watch your next video, which from the previous tip, you know you're sending them to. But do not make the mistake of starting your video with this something that's kind of weird and they don't know whether they're in the right place. You've got to get in, you've got to reaffirm the title, give them that dopamine fix that they are in the right place, come out with lots of energy and get to someone connected, somebody hooked in. The biggest change, okay, now this, you got to listen to what I'm saying. The biggest game changer on a channel is getting that first 30 seconds right. That's it. If you get that storytelling right in the first 30 seconds, people become forgiving. And as they're moving through your video, they're going to appreciate your content more and more. But if you lose them in the first 30 seconds, you're going to see that hockey stick effect in your analytics, and you have lost them, and there's no getting them back. They have moved on to the next one. So let's fire up the screen sharing again.
Yep.
And
Got it
what
up.
we're going to look at is under
Audience.
analytics, you've got now something called audience. Now, if you scroll down page, okay, hold on. Are we in the right place? Let's just double check.
Other channels.
Scroll further down. No, scroll further down because we've got a couple of more tips. I don't want to make sure I give them in order. No, Benji, can you go fire up the engagement one?
Oh,
the
engagement.
reach
Here
one,
we go.
sorry.
Yep.
I don't know. They keep moving stuff and I don't remember where anything is. All I know is I click around. Scroll down. That's the one I'm looking for. Sorry. All right, my bad. It was under engagement, not under audience. Okay, so under engagement, if you scroll a little bit up, Benji, just a tad, other way, up.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you're going down. There we go. All right, stop. Okay, too much. Okay, what you want to do is below this beautiful graph, can you see key moments for audience retention? You've got something called intro, continuous segments, spikes, and dips. Click on the intro, which is what you've got it clicked on. And now what that does, it looks at your videos and it says for these videos in the first 30 seconds, how much of your audience is still watching at 30 seconds? And you can see Filipino mom tries Filipino cooking, 84%. Dang. Why Will would never buy an air fryer, 81%. Most valuable, 80%, 79, 70. That's incredible. It means that coming out of the gate, people are loving this content, that they're willing to spend time on this video. If you're doing this on your channel and you're finding very low numbers, 10%, 20%, 30%, that means you have lost the majority of your audience before you got started. So before you go any further, go and look at your YouTube analytics. What is your retention at 30%? How much of your audience is still watching at 30%? And if you do nothing else, if you take nothing else away from today, if you make that change, grab people in much quicker, get their attention much quicker, get that retention to go up by as many percent as possible, that will change your channel. The longer they stay on watching, the longer they're going to watch your entire video, so your overall retention will increase. So please spend a little time understanding why people are leaving with each video and work out what's working and what's not working and get to the point, unlike what I'm doing now.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. You know, two things, practical tips that I can give to anybody on how to make a more powerful 30 seconds. Number one, don't start out with your intro and, you know, all this stuff about your channel and subscribe and like and all these CTAs. You want to start off with something people actually want to watch. So if you're a how-to channel, you're teaching something, you should teach the first point right out of the gate. in this broadcast, I did that. I literally said, hey, you guys, this is what we're going to be talking about. But guess what? I've got one tip for you really quick. Go look at your recent video overview, and it shows you that like quick overview of what that video is doing performance wise. If you are a entertainment channel like my wife and I with our vlog, we always show a snippet of one of the more relevant or whatever related to the thumbnail in the first few seconds. And then our intro is super short. This is one of the biggest mistakes people think or people are making. They're just putting out crazy long intros, sometimes like 1 minute, a cable TV type of intro, thinking, hey, this is what I got to do for branding. It'll kill that first 30 seconds. So look at your first 30 seconds. Is it what people came to watch? If it is, you should see higher numbers like us, right? 80, 81, 84%, which is really high. But we've also learned how important it is to get right to the point. And we're scrutinizing every single second in the editing process as well. Anything else you want to add to this in terms of engagement?
Just on that, if you go to Mr. Beast's channel, and I like to use him as the example, fire up all his videos and only watch till 30%, and then stop, and then do this for 5, 6, 7 videos, and you will see exactly what happens in that first 30 seconds. See how he reinforces the title, see how he gets engaged, see the music, or hear the music, hear the upbeat, see how he gets you in. He's already delivering on the promises, so many angles, so many cuts. You're already in. And now you're willing to watch more and more of his content.
He's 15 seconds in. I feel like I've already watched half the video. It's pretty crazy.
Right.
I don't usually watch Mr. Beast stuff, but it is interesting to see that literally he's jumping right to what it is people are in. Look, totally. I bought everything. So he's literally already buying things. At 30 seconds in. Yeah.
Now, Benji, he could have easily have done, today, guys, we're going to get together and we're going to get a truck and we're going to drive to a store and we're going to buy he could have done a vlog style like that, but he didn't. He said, today we're buying everything in the store. Here is stuff going into the cart. Here's more stuff. Here's more stuff. Like you're already is like, oh my God, this is amazing. So that's the difference. Casey Neistat, great example of that as well. Gets in, gets you hooked, and now he's got you. And now you're willing to watch. So my advice is go watch 10 random, it can be random Mr. Beast videos. Watch till the first 30 seconds and watch how you're hooked in. There's no logos, there's no animation, there's no, look, do you know who I am? We're just so already in it and we invested. And because we're invested, we're going to watch more of the video. Okay, I think we've kind of spoken enough about this. People are going to be deleting their channels as we speak because they know.
If you're getting value out of this, hit that like button. Make sure you get your questions into the comments area because we will be doing a Q&A right after this. But the last point we want to talk about, the last analytic, has to do with the audience. And there's some cool tools that YouTube has recently just rolled out. So I'm going to share my screen, and now we're going to go to audience. So obviously the tab up here is audience. Take us to where you want to go and what people should be looking at, Liron.
All right, this is exciting and this is new, and I think it's rolled out to everyone or it's on its way out to everyone. But if you stop there, Benji, so on the left-hand side, we got when are your viewers on YouTube, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the little purple things, and we can see Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We can see the days of the week. That's exciting. That's cool. We know when people are online. But the stuff that's really awesome is the little block next to it. And if you scroll a little bit up on that so people can see the title, other channels. Okay, now watch this. Other channels your audience watches. YouTube is telling you right now that your viewer also likes these other channels. Now you think, who cares? So what if they like other channels? Here is how you use that. Go and look at those other channels. Are there any similarities between your content and theirs? Are there any knock-on effects? And here's what I mean by knock-on effect. My channel talks about faster Wi-Fi. I have noticed on my other channels that people are watching, they're watching things like Netflix content, Fire Stick content, essentially buffering content. So what does that mean? Someone's having a problem. their Netflix is buffering. They're not getting a good streaming experience. They've watched my channel, How to Get Faster Wi-Fi, and then they've watched that other person's channel on how to stop the buffering. So what do? I go and make a buffering video. How to stop the buffering. I do that. I then can reach out to those channels. Again, I'm giving you all my tips here, but another power move here. Reach out to that channel. Is there a collaboration you can do? If your audience watches you and them, you've now got good signals that your audience likes both channels. It's not a competition. If you both win, you both win. So look at that other channels, go study those other channels and understand with a viewer's hat on. I keep on doing that. With a viewer's hat on, I'm a viewer. I'm on a YouTube journey. I've just watched this amazing Judy's Life vlog. I love it. And now I'm going to look at one of those channels. What am I going to watch on that channel? Is there any correlation, any crossover that we can do? Go and study that. But wait, there is more. If you scroll down, then you fire up that screen sharing again.
Got it.
And if you scroll down a little bit further into that thing, look what it's telling you. Other videos your audience watched. Now, how is that for insane insights?
Yeah.
We know that people have watched these videos and then they watch videos on my channel. Let me go and watch those videos. What am I missing? What's amazing in that video? What could I do the same? What insight can I glean from that? And that is how you win on YouTube. It's never a competition. It's collaboration. It's people are going to watch more than one video about a topic, whether it's entertainment or how to. We never watch one video and go, okay, I've got enough information. I'm going to buy this thing. We watch 3, 4, 5 videos. And this is YouTube's way of telling you, hey, Mr. Creator, Mrs. Creator, this is your channel. Look at what people are watching on YouTube. Go and learn from that and get some of that suggested eyeballs onto your videos.
And we've been auditing a lot of channels. I know you have a lot of auditing experience, but especially on Clubhouse, people ask, hey, what should I do to get more views? How can I grow? And so for anybody watching right now, the one thing I always tell people is, do not rely on us for the best answers. Look at your analytics. They'll tell you the best answers. The algorithm is telling you, hey, your viewers also watch these channels. Go look at those channels and see what ideas and types of videos are popping off for them, because you might be able to borrow some of those ideas, right? Totally. Maybe there's a certain challenge. Maybe there's a trend. Maybe there's a hot topic related to all these different channels. And then look at the other videos. This is what's really powerful about looking at those videos that your audience is watching. You could get into that suggested video algorithm. We call it the wave, right? Riding that wave.
Right.
And so understanding all this, and these tools are very new and it's exciting. I think it's now available to everybody, but this is something that we've never been able to see, because you kind of had to do your own research or use other tools like vidIQ to kind of like go through it. So I love this. I think we went into pretty a deep dive of analytics. So what would be your last thoughts for the audience here, Liron, before we get into the next broadcast for Q&A? In terms of how to navigate analytics, what is like a basic overview of what we just discussed, and your last thoughts for any creators who are just getting started on YouTube?
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you're just starting or whether you have millions of subscribers. I do this with creators big and small, and guess what? It's the same, right? The analytics are going to tell you a story of what's happening on your channel. Once you start understanding that YouTube isn't there to hurt you, and it's giving you this insight so that you can make those data-driven decisions, that's when you win. When you start looking at YouTube as your friend, that's when you win. YouTube wants to serve your video to a bigger audience, to get you more subscribers and get you more views. It wants it because it makes more money. You make more money. It wants to feed the beast. Help YouTube, help you. So go and understand your channel. Though I cannot stress this enough, if we stop looking at everybody else's channel and go, why are they growing? Why are they winning and I'm not? You do not have any idea what goes on in the back end of those channels. they could be spending hundreds and thousands of dollars in ads
Yeah.
to promote their channel. You have no idea. Why are you wasting your time and energy? Focus on these tips that we've given you today. It was a lot. This will be available in the replay on this channel, so you can always go back. So I apologize. I get stupidly excited about data. I know, sad, but it's true. But that is how you win on YouTube, by
That's right.
understanding what is YouTube doing with your content, so that you can then help it. You can create content, you can adjust your content, and then get better and better. And there's no failing. It's more of, that didn't work. I learned that I shouldn't do this again. Great. Now you move on to the next thing. And essentially, that's going to be your biggest takeaway from these.
There you go. Hey, you guys, I hope you got value. I know I did. I learned some new things. Remember, if you understand your analytics, you're going to understand the algorithm. And when you have those two in your corner, you're going to have way more success with your future videos. And the biggest, I think, takeaway for me is look at what's working with other channels like yourself or other videos that your audience are watching, and apply it to what you're doing. Remember, those first 30 seconds are really important. And never forget the thumbnail click-through rate. That is the first part of the journey. So, hey, if you guys got value, hit that like button. Leave your questions below. One of the best ways to know how to level up your channel is look at how other people who are crushing on YouTube are doing. So we put Liron's links down below. I will be right back. This will be up here for replay, but the Q&A is only for people watching it live or the members. So hit that join button if you want to get replays of all of your Q&A. I will see you guys here in a second.